online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 1-877-866-8555.
Payday. A big moment for your employees and a big moment for you. And it all happens thanks to the experts at Paychex. When it's time to add a new member to your team, the Paychex suite of next-generation HR solutions can handle it all for you. And when you want to get your employees the benefits they need, Paychex does that too. 50 years and thousands of experts in payroll, HR, benefits, and insurance. Sign up today for 1 month free at paychex.com/future.
Twin storms threatening holiday travel plans as parts of the country could be ringing in the new year with some wicked weather. Adam Klotz is tracking it for us. Hey, Adam.
Hey there, yeah, we're tracking a couple of storms, and what's really going to be important is where you are as far as these cold air masses are moving. Here's what it looks like as far as temperatures out there. This is our cold front, and that's going to play a big factor on if you see rain, snow, or ice over the next couple of days. You see this warm air out in front of it. Right along the frontal boundary is where we're seeing this significant weather as of right now. Most of the snow a little farther north, getting into New England. Running along this frontal boundary, it's going to be mostly rain because that is where the warm air is. But on the back side of this system, I take you in there a little bit tighter. Cold air just behind it, we're seeing freezing rain. It's going to be mostly rain because that is where the warm air is. Just behind this system, it kind of sweeps its way across the middle of the country.
Are you there?
Hazardous driving. Another system we're paying attention to in the Pacific Northwest. That's an area where you're going to see snow, especially at higher altitudes, anywhere from 12 inches to 18 inches of snow with this system. So we have winter watches, storm advisories from New England back down across Texas,
what's going
on
on
the Pacific Northwest. Lots of spots to
but
pay attention to. Future forecast, a couple things to show you here. We've got this one round that we were just talking about. That's going to be mostly rain.
But it might be okay if they are creating an angel.
And then pay attention to
Texas.
Another round of
I know the Chinese are using all this chaos in our country,
so a bit of a mess there also.
To try to further their grasp on the
across the southeast.
Plenty
of spots with snow. It is going to be a little bit messy, Sandra, as we talk about heading into the new
Chinese
year.
middle
class. We'll be watching it very closely.
So I'm keeping a close eye over there too.
And from wicked weather to
I got a goat project I'm working on. I'm a goat farmer.
California today reporting its first case of that more contagious UK strain. Colorado says a second person there may be infected with it. So just how
also, you know, I saw them wherever I can.
Petrie is with the Mount Sinai School of Medicine. She joins us now with more on this troubling development. Good afternoon to you, and thanks for being here. Everybody's hearing about this and saying, no, you know, what's coming next? What do you tell them?
How is the cannabis industry
we could expect
in
we're going to find more cases, and I guarantee we're going to learn about more and more the following days as they come.
I don't know.
Have to assume that the strain has spread in the United States for a while now. We just haven't identified it. And one reason is the first person identified. He has no history of travel. So that points out to the community spread.
And
what we know, yes, it's 70% more spreadable. However, it's not deadlier, and both Moderna and Pfizer have confirmed that they are covering it. However, we are far from mass vaccination to relax about it.
Okay, and when you say covering it, you mean that the current vaccines that have been approved, that are on the market, currently being administered, would be enough to fight off this new strain?
Yes, they are both confirmed to be effective against the new strain that's called B117.
Okay. So a couple other things to dig into there. You did say that it's obviously more contagious, and that's why we're all hearing about it, because we already know how contagious COVID-19 is. More contagious, but not more deadly.
Gerbil seems to be a baker.
That's correct, but if you look into perspective, more contagious is enough to be concerned, because we already are at the peak of pandemic, and the number of cases are growing every day. And having a strain that spreads faster, 70% faster, that means we actually add gas on fire, and could make the following few months even more dire than they are expected to be.
Could you leave us off with a message of hope, perhaps, knowing that there are lines happening around the country where people who can get the vaccine are signing up to do so? What are we seeing so far on that?
but it tells me which brand number to go look at. I think that I'm pretty close to finding the keystone.
I expect the process will smoothen out as
but
we identify
I need
the
to do a little more dice rolling to really know.
And looking at your perspective, we are looking for the next 2-3 months to vaccinate all those at high risk and healthcare workers.
I was telling
so assuming that is being achieved, we are getting over the big hump and protecting our most vulnerable people.
And using Google Maps.
Dr. Pichu, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure that I have pinpointed the location.
A safe and happy holiday to you.
Like
big tech companies, meanwhile, facing intense criticism over getting too big in 2020.
But
to find out how one market expert is saying it's time to give breakup talk a break.
Insidious operators that would have people be told
who's USAA made for? It's made for this guy, a veteran who honorably served, and it's made for her.
Anyway,
she's serving now. We made it for all branches and all ranks, whether they served one tour or made a career of it. We also made USAA for military spouses and their kids. USAA is easy to work with. We can save you money on auto, home, and renters insurance. Become a member today. Call us for a quote. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
We are founders of something.
I did some early shopping this year.
Is
one for you, one for me.
We're going to take Q
worldwide. Something too.
Worldwide, every African child
one for you,
should know about
one for me.
The military intel.
Oh, actually, that was supposed to be for me.
I love it.
Because I'm pretty sure it's also Jesus.
It's the GMC season to upgrade. Now everyone can get GM employee pricing on most GMC models. Use it to get over $6,200 total value on this 2021 Kia Denali. We are professional grade GMC.
It's an important time to save. With Priceline, you can get up to 60% off amazing hotels. And when you get a big deal, you feel like a big deal. Priceline. Every trip is a big deal.
The old ginger mound.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla.
At least a year.
Otezla is not a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clear skin is achievable. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
As CEO of Wounded Warrior Project, I hear from wounded veterans every day. But I want you to know how your gifts are changing lives. Many of the same veterans who sacrificed so much for us are now facing financial crisis due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we have provided grants to more than 11,000 warriors to help them meet critical needs. Please give to those who gave so much for us. Please go to woundedwarriorproject.org today.
These days, taking care of yourself is more important than ever. And one way to do that is to lose weight. And the best way? Nutrisystem.
Order right now. Get 50% off a month of meals and 50% off a month of shakes.
Digital soldiers.
Do this for yourself.
Digital soldiers.
You can't take care of anyone else until you take care of
I need all of you into my YouTube channel right now. I'm
streaming. 50% on a month of meals and 50% on a month of shakes.
I'm the reincarnation of George Washington.
Robinhood believes now is the time to do money without the commission fees, so you can start investing today, wherever you are, even hanging with your dog. So, what are you waiting for? Download now and get your first stock on us. Robinhood.
In a year no one wants to remember. These are the moments you won't forget.
We were visited by every single biblical plague.
Don't miss a special Who Can Forget New Year's Eve on Fox News Channel, and catch more of America's most memorable years on Fox Nation.
Live stuff. Live stuff. That'll
Big tech
get
CEOs
everybody.
Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk all saw their wealth grow dramatically in 2020, drawing the ire of many of their critics who say big tech companies are just getting too big. Our next guest sees things dramatically in 2020. Joining us now, Steve Moore. Steve, it's good to see you, and Happy New Year as we quickly approach the year end here. Hi to you. So as far as these big technology CEOs, wow, did they see their wealth increase? And now President Trump and Republicans seem to be seizing on this stimulus bill opportunity to repeal that Section 230, which provides protections of sorts for those big technology companies. You don't want that to happen. Why?
But I guess
there's a couple issues intertwined here, Sandra. One is the issue of whether these companies are too big and whether these CEOs have made too much money. And my response to that is, when in America is it a crime to become rich when you provide a better mousetrap? And that's essentially what these companies have done. By the way, they've become rich, but think about the millions, tens of millions of Americans who've gotten rich with them because they've created these incredible products. Google obviously revolutionized search engines. Amazon has really revolutionized the way we get the products. Think about this, Sandra. How would we have gotten through this crisis of the last 9 or 10 months of coronavirus if it hadn't been for great technology companies and companies like Amazon who brought food and products right to our doorstep? So, do I like these companies' politics? Not at all. I'm pretty conservative and they're pretty liberal, but I love the fact that they're American companies. One last thing I'd say about this, Sandra, is we should be proud of America as Americans that these are American companies. If we break up Google or we break up Amazon or some of these other technology companies, the big winners will be China and companies like Huawei and TikTok that want to knock American companies off their top position.
Really interesting perspective on that, but we know why Republicans and many conservatives take issue with some of these big technology companies like Twitter, like Facebook, because of their censoring of conservative thoughts, ideas, and news. We've seen many hearings over the course of 2020 that address just that. Speaking of 2020, you look broadly at this year, Steve, and what a year it has been. The economic struggle and pain that we've seen for so many Americans is still trying to be addressed to this very moment with the debate over the stimulus bill, whether or not these checks should go out for $2,000 or the current $600. Where do you stand on that as we look at the Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ, record highs? You've seen that wealth gap get bigger. The rich have gotten richer, and those that have struggled are struggling even more right now.
Well, look, I'm not against people getting richer. I am against people getting poorer. And there's no doubt about this. And I wrote a piece on FoxNews.com about this that got a lot of attention, where I said, look, the single policy in modern times that has led to the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer are these lockdowns in blue states like Illinois and California and New York and New Jersey, where they're just shutting down businesses. And the first people who are getting laid off are minorities and the lowest income people who are thrust into food lines and unemployment lines. That's incredibly unfair. And I don't think you're going to be able to make up for the damage that's been done to the small businesses and the workers who've lost their jobs by simply giving them free money. The Americans don't want free money. They want their jobs back. And the small businessmen and women, 15 million Americans, Sandra, 15 million Americans are employed by bars and restaurants. Think of the damage that's been done. California won't even let people eat outside, which is crazy. So I think the first priority has to be to get our businesses reopened. And the good news is that's starting to happen because of the vaccine that's going to be widely available in the next couple of months. And I don't like helicopter money. I don't like the government printing money and just pouring it out of windows of helicopters. Wouldn't it be wonderful, Sandra, if we could make everybody rich by just printing money and giving people free money? That's not the way an economy
works. It just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. I was talking to the mayor of a small town earlier who is basically just suggesting that many of those businesses should just defy those shutdown orders. It's just too much. And you talk about the outdoor dining, and he says that my goal is always to keep people safe, but some of this just goes too far. With Dr. Abrar addressing the California shutdowns, you can't eat outside, you can't serve people outside. I don't know where they're getting at. The science doesn't say it's spreading in that capacity, and it just really makes, as you approach the end of the year here, it makes you just wonder what the next few months look like, what the next couple of years look like, and some of these really hard-hit cities, how fast they can, if they do, come back. Final thoughts.
This is my biggest worry right now is what's going to happen to America's great cities. And look, I love New York. I love Chicago. I love Los Angeles, San Francisco. but Sandra, you're there in New York. You
Oh,
know,
look, I
how
got
long
friends
will
here
it take
with me.
for Manhattan to ever get back to what it once was? When you see so many of those stores probably
You're not just
permanently
friends, you're
shut
patriots.
down,
Yeah.
and that's tragic for
We're
this country.
brothers
By the
and
way, I'll just
sisters
say this: one really interesting
of
thing I've
the
heard you
Jesus
reporting
Christ
on this. What
Bridge.
happened to that woman with her restaurant in
you
Los
know,
Angeles?
if
You know
you've
that
got
she retrofitted it
merchandise,
so people could eat outside. Then they changed
Hugh
the rule.
merchandise,
That's become a huge
you could
movement.
probably
And
consider
also
yourself
revolt.
a
She
People
changed
should go to that
a lot
website.
in
I
all
love
of this, yeah.
Yep.
Seymour, it's great to talk to you. It's been a while. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
You too, Sandra.
I don't know,
That'll
but
do it
I'm
for us
thinking
here.
maybe
Thank
on
you so much
January
for joining
6th,
us this
the
evening, and you
Pleiadians
can catch me
will show up.
on America's Newsroom each
Jesus
and
will
every
be on this
weekday
ship
morning,
with
bright and
JFK
early, 9 a.m. to noon on the
and
Fox
we'll
News
all get a
channel.
chance
Until
to
then,
drink
I'm
some
Sandra
beer
Smith,
and get to
here
know
comes
one
the
another with
vibe.
Donald Trump there, and he'll give us all one of his flags with his face in the corner and a signature on the bottom.
Hello,
Maybe a copy
everybody.
of
I'm
the
Jagan McDowell,
Constitution
along
or
with
the
Jason
Declaration. We
Chaffetz,
could all
Jessica
sign it. I don't know.
Lawrence Jones, and Lisa Booth. It's 5 o'clock in New York City. This is The Five. President Trump firing back at Joe Biden over this criticism of the vaccine rollout.
This stuff
The Trump
is related
administration's
to
plan to
dog
distribute
calls
vaccines is
and
falling
pig
behind.
calls.
But as I long feared
The
and warned,
elites
the effort to
always
distribute
use
and administer
their
the vaccine
comms
is
on
not
Twitter
progressing as it should.
to
With only a
initiate
few days
false
left in December, we've
flag
only vaccinated
events.
a few million so far.
So,
Trump responding
anytime we
on
see
Twitter. The federal
a
government
tweet
has distributed the
about,
vaccines to the
an
states.
animal
Now it's up to
or
the
about
states to
nature,
administer. Get moving.
we
While
ought to
Biden
be
is quick to
concerned
point a finger at the
that
president, he's
they are
turning a
planning
blind
or
eye to the
plotting
virus
something
mismanagement
related
in blue
to
states.
Agenda 21.
Despite strict lockdowns, California is seeing the highest number of
you
new
know, the
daily
Georgia
COVID-19
Stones,
cases per
that's
capita
a
in the
prophecy
country.
that I
And
don't
remember
know
how
if
the
I've
state
really
crushed the
had
restaurant
a
industry
chance
by
to-
banning outdoor dining?
even-
Well, now it is
even let
kindly
sink in as
asking
possible.
Hollywood to consider
Because
stopping
I
down
know that if I
productions
keep digging
as cases
and
continue
meaning
to
and
soar.
praying,
And in
that's
New
not gonna
York,
happen.
Governor Andy Cuomo
It's
under
not
fire
gonna happen.
once again, this time for giving drug addicts in rehab facilities vaccine priority over thousands of elderly residents still stuck in their homes. Lawrence, to you first on this. Joe Biden is clearly trying to set it up so he can take credit for the vaccine, which he had absolutely nothing to do with. Not a zilch.
Trying to bring their guns
niente,
to D.C.
nothing.
Yeah, he also criticized the speed of getting it
I
done.
do have
His
Trump's
running mate,
2020
Kamala Harris,
mud flaps.
said at first that she wasn't even going to take the vaccine, that she didn't trust the process. Now we know that she took the vaccine.
On them
I think what is kind of rich of Democrats to criticize a process that would have never gotten done if there was another administration, Republican or Democrat, because a lot of them are politicians. They believe in this federalized system where the federal government should do every single thing. It's because of the Trump administration that a businessman was able to take what he would do in his own business, get that red tape out of the way to make this happen. And I think that's the disagreement in philosophy. The bottom line is that government rarely does things that are good. You can look at Nashville where people reported that this guy had a bomb and they did absolutely nothing about it. Not because they had malicious intent, but because
like I said, I got my 8-person
gets in
tent,
place
my
and
gazebo,
things get pushed aside.
and my barbecue
That's what
grill.
happened right here in where Donald Trump is now giving it to the states and letting them do what they do.
I
But
don't know
remember,
that
real
I can
quick,
get baby back
this was
ribs
the
on my food
philosophy
stamps,
all
but if I can
along
afford a
during the
rack, I
pandemic.
will.
He was able to do things
And I'll
that states
cook all
weren't able
week.
to do. That he asked them, what do you need? The federal government provided for them,
I
and it was up to
it'll
the
just be a
states to
party
take
outside
care
the
of
White
their
House.
people.
I hope
That's how a
someone
country
brings
should run.
marijuana.
It shouldn't be
Could
the
I
federal
do
government
smoke?
doing
I'm just-
everything.
I don't want
They
to
get
be
it
on
wrong.
all their
Jessica,
government
it's in
list
everyone's
as
best
being
interest,
a dope
particularly the
head.
president-elect, even now, to make sure that these vaccines are safe, effective, and as I've said, hella popular, which is not what they were talking about in September
lady
and October.
on
It was
the news,
anti-vax fear-mongering from
She said
Biden and Harris.
hella popular.
Well, there were a large contingent of Americans, including many Trump supporters, who said that they were not comfortable with the vaccine and that they wouldn't be taking it. So this wasn't some liberal conspiracy. It was a lot of Republicans that felt the process had moved too quickly, or they just fundamentally are not people who necessarily get vaccinated, or something on a QAnon site said that it was full of microchips, and I believe that conspiracy theory is still circulating. But I would love it if you guys would humor me in a little end-of-year thought experiment. President Obama is still president, let's say. He has overseen Operation Warp Speed. The vaccine is out when he said it would be at the end of the year. Only 2 million of the 20 million vaccinations that he promised would be administered at this current point. And he's hitting the links in Hawaii because he needs some well-earned vacation time. What are you all going to say about that? The President of the United States of America, instead of being in D.C., making sure they can be on the phone all day with the governors of blue states and red states to make sure that everybody gets vaccinated, elderly first, frontline workers, he's on the golf course rage tweeting.
Well, you know what would address that. Well, Lisa, I'm just going to toss it to you, but I never criticized any president for going on vacation, number one. And at last count, we know that it's more than 2 million vaccinations have happened, inoculations. 11.5 million doses roughly have been distributed to the states. But what say you?
Well, and there's also billions of dollars for vaccine distribution that was so necessary, needed, and that COVID relief bill that Nancy Pelosi held up because she didn't want to get it done previously, to try to get that knock against President Trump and to bribe him the victory heading into the election. Look, we wouldn't be where we are right now without the Trump administration. As Lawrence put it, because President Trump was an outsider and a businessman, he forged those public-private partnerships like we haven't seen before with Operation Warp Speed, with getting ventilators to the states that needed them, getting PPE to the hospitals that needed them, cutting red tape to be able to get therapeutics to the public, as well as a vaccine in a record speed. And the left really picks the wrong heroes, and we've seen this throughout the pandemic. They hold up people like Governor Cuomo as an example of leadership. He has done everything wrong. He's not prioritizing addicts before seniors for the vaccine purposes. This is someone who mandated nursing homes to take in the COVID patients, to take in the sick, and you contrast that with what's been going on here in Florida and the leadership of Ron DeSantis, who has said, you know what, I'm going to wait to get a vaccine because the elderly or seniors, the most vulnerable, need it first. And also, he mandated that hospitals could not send COVID patients to nursing homes because it's common sense that the elderly get sick more easily, and that they would be more likely to die if they contract the coronavirus. Yet DeSantis has been criticized by the media and the left that they have done it all wrong for so long.
Well, speaking of Governor DeSantis,
they got laser beams.
They got laser beams. But I am not the priority. They're the priority. I'm under 45, and so the people under 45 are not going to be first in line for this. And so when it's my turn, I will take it, but this is who I want to be vaccinated. I want my parents, my grandparents to be able to get it.
While they do a nuclear holocaust
I'm an elected official.
We all go away. They wait a couple
At the end of the day, let's
come back down here. Because I know,
Jason?
I'm pretty
good
sure
for him. Governor DeSantis has it spot on. And going back to Joe Biden, did Joe Biden actually listen to what he actually said? We've only inoculated millions of people.
Leave us here.
I mean, there was nobody on the Democratic side of the aisle that gave Donald Trump any hope of ever getting this done. Operation Warp Speed was a huge success. You don't just have one company, you've got multiple companies now coming on. That information about 11.5 million doses that have been distributed to the states is a few days old. I still think they're going to be darn close. And Donald Trump is a business person. He knows to do this. You know you've got to shoot higher than where you're actually going to be to push people to move as fast as they can possibly do it. So hats off to the men and women on the front line actually taking care of people. I'm tired of the Joe Bidens of the world just chastising, and they're never satisfied. They're just always complaining. Why not get behind it and encourage people and show some leadership, for goodness sake? like Donald Trump has done in actually making
he
things
could go
happen.
down in history.
Because what Joe Biden
like
said today was
build a
absolutely
statue
fundamentally
of
totally
Joe
wrong,
Biden,
and I
and
think
he
he's
could be
misleading to say that it's going to
a
take
polar bear.
years to achieve what we know is going to
I don't know.
happen if they just follow
Maybe
Donald
he
Trump's
will-
plan in
maybe
short
he will,
order.
Yeah, fomenting fear about the
give all the
vaccine for
Mexicans
political gain during the
Mexican
campaign.
training?
Biden and Harris said, "Oh, I don't know.
know.
You know, I don't
Like-
know. I don't trust
like,
Donald Trump with the
how do we-
vaccine." And
how
now
do we
it's the complete
be better
reverse, and they've both
to our
gotten it.
Mexicans?
This vaccine developed
I
at
mean,
the
I got a
hands
dog. I
of
try
companies
to give him
vilified by the
food
left.
and water.
These vaccines
I did
are
get him
an
a ham bone.
unqualified
It just came in the
success.
mail
The
today.
first person
He's
who got
still
that
working on
vaccine,
it.
by my count, got it
But if
4
I'm gonna
years
get my
early
dog a ham
under
bone,
any other
I ought to get
administration.
my Mexicans
Ahead
some goat
less than
milk.
1 week to
That's
go
what I
for
think.
those crucial runoffs in
But they
Georgia.
need goat
President
milk in
Trump and Joe
Mexico.
Biden on a
They need
collision
goat-
course
goat
in the
products.
Peach State.
Maybe some goat, live goats. Do yoga with if they want, or eat. I don't know. It's not my business what they eat the goats in Mexico.
You need the
What
right
is my
pieces in your
problem is
portfolio
that
to
I
preserve
feel
capital,
good when it says
diversify
made
to
in
mitigate
Mexico.
risk,
I
provide
wanna know
liquidity,
I
while
did give a goat
delivering
for that.
returns. Gold, your strategic advantage.
These days, it's okay to do some things halfway, but taking prescriptions shouldn't be one of them. So CVS has a proprietary search tool that looks for savings, plus
this
free
guy's
delivery.
mad.
Get a
He
free
says to
prescription
all the
savings review
clowns,
at
all the
CVS.
fact checkers, all the hired and paid
We all have our
agitators.
own journey
I
ahead
make
of
my
us.
most
Our
sincere
own hopes
request.
and dreams.
Will you please keep
We'll
doing
pass
what you're
many
doing? We
milestones,
see you, and
moments
your
that
actions,
define
words
you
and vibes
and
are like
drive
the
you
bacon of
to
those
achieve
who are
even
away.
more.
It's like
So celebrate everyone. Because success isn't just about where you want to get to. It's also about how you get there. And
Cut a rehearsal.
the all-new 2021 Cadillac Escalade never stop arriving.
This is why thousands of people are switching to Pure
I
Talk
think
for
you
their
can hear
cellular
my
service.
Fox
I always
News in the
assumed that
background.
using a
Turn
bigger
it down
provider
for
meant
you.
better coverage. It turns out that it's the same.
Here, I hope that's better. So if you come back, we can talk more about goats or extraterrestrials if you want.
With plans starting at $20 a month for unlimited talk, text, and 2 gigs.
Okay, let me get this guy his information.
Smarter wireless to save 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
Information for
Now
you.
there's a better way to search for senior living.
Okay.
At A Place for Mom, we offer live virtual tours so you can explore from thousands of
Why?
senior living communities. Your
Why
family
would
can
I
experience
eat
what childcare
nigger
will be
dick?
like for your mom or dad, all
I
from the
don't
comforts
know.
of home. I could really see mom here. Whether it's assisted living, memory care, or independent living, your senior living advisor will
People
be
don't
there every
know.
step of the way. Connect with
I've been
your
trying to
senior
tell them
advisor today to get started.
for a couple days now
New projects
that
means new project
Stacey Abrams, her real name is Shaniqua Williams. She was born in Ethiopia. She is a childhood friend of Barack Obama. So, I'm sure her sister, the judge, I'm sure she's from Ethiopia too. She probably knew Obama. Everything. It all makes sense. When you know that the Chinese are trying to take over Texas so they can own all the Mexicans, it starts to make sense.
Mutual customizes your home insurance. Here's one that'll really take you back.
Wow! What you got, Ryan? It's customized home insurance from Liberty Mutual.
You know, I figure it's happening. It's got to be happening. The wheels of justice, I hear them turn. I know that a lot of things Q has said to me haven't come true, but I know that disinformation is necessary. So I do trust the plan. I try to keep it 40,000 feet. I try to, look at the Q clock when I wake up. I try to reconcile the markers. And remember that this is not a game. This is 5D chess. You know, it's 5D chess. There's nothing. I'm a pawn. I'm a pawn in the game of 5D chess. But the king is in the castle. Donald Trump's in the White House. And we gotta go there. And we gotta be that rook. We gotta upgrade. from pawn to rook so that we can move all the way across the board. And we can do that. I don't know if you ever played chess. You get your pawn over there and you turn into a rook.
Order by phone and get free shipping.
We got to protect the king, the dictator, maybe even Jesus. You know, Jesus has to be cute or Trump. I'm not sure yet. One must be the Antichrist and one must be Christ.
President and Joe Biden are set to collide with dueling rallies there on Monday, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
There's got to be more to all this, right? There has to be some sort of power structure at the top, pulling all the strings. Someone telling George Soros and Rothschilds and the Bilderbergs and all them Clintons and Bidens and everybody what to do, right? I wonder, it's like, I don't know. Maybe they're on a secret telepathic network and you got to have like a few $1 million to be invited to it. So they give you a special space implant to communicate with them with synthetic telepathy. But I don't have a few $1 million, so why would they give me a space implant? But I think that might be how they're operating their criminal activities. But I think maybe we've got special technology that can intercept their brain waves and their telepathic technology and figure out what they're saying. We can get into their metadata, and yeah, I think it's possible. I don't know why not. They say the military is at least, you know, a couple of years ahead of the people with their technology.
Which is the beginning of the 117th Congress. The president has always pushed to deal with
I told you,
230.
I am the second coming of George Washington. I do have the birthmarks to prove it. I have at least like 3 freckles that match a painting I saw of George Washington. So, Code Monkey, I know you're out there. Let's see if we can't get my trip code going so that I can share my data on the Noah's Ark, etc. I have stuff I can't even talk about yet because if I even started to declassify the stuff that I heard from this guy on Discord, he told me all this stuff, and I know it's true because I heard it between my 2 ears, and I do have a brain. I've got gray matter. I use my brain parts and I figure it out with my heart, my gut. I don't know, America.
Because when you look at John Ossoff, he's a trust fund socialist. When you look at Raphael Warnock, he's a Marxist who has now been at the center of this.
Everybody always wants sauce. Sauce, sauce, sauce. There isn't sauce for everything. And some of us who have sauce, we're scared to share it because they will William Cooper us. They will absolutely William Cooper you for sauce in your facts.
He surrounded himself with radicals like Kamala Harris and AOC and Bernie Sanders. So there is a lot on the line in Georgia. So Republicans need to wake up. They need to get excited. This race is critical.
Sometimes I wonder,
on a Democrat
is my live stream still going? Yeah, here we are. Sometimes I wonder if I'm a Jew because I am. I had a DNA test and it revealed a few things to me. One thing is that I am 0.18% Ashkenazi Jew. I mean, does that make me some sort of crypto Jew or something? I don't know. But if I am Jewish, I hope that I'm not going to get kicked out of any countries. Because I know that Jews, one thing I'm proud of my Jew heritage. I know it's not a lot, but I'm proud of it because Jews basically invented everything in the Western world. So we got a lot to thank Jews for. So I'm proud of my Jew self. The other part that was confusing about my DNA is it said that I am Neanderthal. You see, my mom, she's Neanderthal too. She's like 3.5%, and I'm like 2.5%. So that means that my dad must have been less of a Neanderthal. I wonder how many cavemen we got running around out there. I mean, am I a caveman Jew? I don't know. If I'm a caveman, I'm a Jew. I'm probably black too. I was doing some calculations, and I think that if your mom is white and your dad is black, that makes you half black, half white. So if you're gonna get married and you're half black, half white to a black person or a white person, it don't matter, then you're 75-25. And then you're like 87-13 or something. And so you start changing color over like 10 generations. You go from being black to white. So I know that all the Moors that came out of Libya, they went to Germany, and William the Conqueror used them to go to Britain. And they're really, all the Germans, they're black. They're black Jews from Libya, and today they're Republicans. So Republicans are just black German Jews from Libya. And when I learned that, everything made sense to me. Everything.
Financial well-being and livelihoods, because they intentionally held up rescue money for weeks, if not months, ahead of the election for their own political.
So that's when I decided to join the We Was Kings movement. So basically, I am a white American that knows I used to be black, and when I was black and I lived in Africa, I was a king of my tribe. So I reincarnated too. Before I was George Washington, well, you see the first incarnation of George Washington was an incarnation of Napoleon and Genghis Khan combined. That's how it became so awesome. So, you know, my bloodline time traveling, it goes way back.
We'll have to see what happens Tuesday. I'll be on the ground for the Fox News channel.
I know, because I have the birthmarks to prove it. So, it's like when I look up at the North Star and the moon is full, there's nothing stopping me from recognizing that this is complete nonsense. I utter complete nonsense. I just spew it and spew it and spew it. And I gotta remember, I am a complete psychotic. I'm a schizophrenic. I hear the voices in my head from the government, and they tell me stuff, nice stuff. They tell me that I am a good employee of the state, that I am an advisor to the president, and that I'm helping the farming industry with my Goats for Good project. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing for this country. I'm going to keep digging and memeing and praying and just feeling the blessings of being part of the Church of Q and having Q as my personal guru. I look forward to the day when I can move into a Q monastery or go become a nun or a priest for Q. I'm not sure. I don't think we should like do it like Catholics and eat the body of Christ, because that seems weird. But maybe if we like, I don't know what everyone at a Q church does. Probably we could get together and get scalpels from Amazon and cut out our implants from our arms together. I don't know. But if we cut out our implants and we show them to the FBI, I know that America will know that the government is owned by reptilians from Uranus.
Please visit ThomasTheTower.org.
So that's the only way that all this happened. If there weren't aliens from Uranus, none of this would have occurred. Okay?
Size to fit most any phone. An optional extender for raised viewing. Can be customized with billet aluminum knobs in multiple colors. There's even a version for horizontal viewing. Order your American-made cup phone or desk phone today at WeatherTech.com.
Payday. A big moment for your employees. And a big moment for you. And it all happens
Hey, Nom,
the experts at Paychex.
I gotta go. My wife is coming home. She goes to work all day. So, I gotta let you go. But I do love you. I do want you to know that I am me. I'm a patriot, an American, a Christian. I'm part of the Trump army. I'm a digital warrior. I'm a meme magician. And most importantly, I don't know if there's anything more important than memeing, digging and praying. This is my way of life. Q gave it to me. Q gave me a way of life. He taught me how to be an internet clicktivist. How to use Twitter to tell the diabetes Republicans to go and vote. I'm making change. Saving babies. Supporting the truth. I don't know what else to do. Goodbye and God bless. Godspeed.